one's, oh, like, yeah, like that, if you're down there. Okay, cool. And then this one will go like this. Okay, there's 8 people. Okay, we'll start this one live. Hello there, YouTube.
Hi there. So, which one is which? We got multiple feeds here.
That's Facebook.
All right.
This is YouTube.
All right.
And then this one.
So, first of all, do you have any questions about downward dog? I'm going to make a little presentation, but maybe you have a specific question.
All right, and now here is Instagram. Oh. Okay. Yes. Do you guys?
Oh, here's some.
Okay. Yes. Hi. That's okay. Hi, David. Okay. So let me put this here. All right. So, and I'm gonna move this. Yeah, move that one a little bit over. And Bunny's, of course, here. Okay, so how can I get my heels closer to the floor? So David's asking questions.
Okay, so.
And what exactly are the actions of the shoulders?
Okay.
A good question on shoulder and arm alignment. Yes, hello from Chennai. Any questions, anyone, before David starts? Hi, yes, hi. I'm so glad you guys are all here.
Excellent.
How do you relieve?
Super.
How do you relieve wrist pain? That's another question.
Okay.
Yes, Mexico City. Yes. Hello. Any more questions before he starts on downward facing dog? He is here to help you. Ideal length of downward dog.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's see here. Edinburgh, hello. Crete.
Edinburgh, all right.
Any more questions before David gets into it? Do you have any questions, specific questions about downward dog yourself? Should I push the chest closer to the thighs? Is this a kind of pass part out asana for all the asanas? I'm sorry, say that one again. Ask that question again, a little bit clearer. Width of the feet, David. Where do you position the head between the arms? Wow, okay, a lot of questions.
Okay.
Okay, this is good.
Do you want to write them down?
Okay, I think you should just get going and then.
I want to rapid fire answer some of those.
Okay, should the chest go forward?
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to rapid fire answer a few of those questions, okay? And then we'll also get into it. But okay, so for one, the heels. Okay, so of all the priorities of that pose, okay, that's the least, the lowest. Okay, just remember that. Getting your heels to the floor is not very important. And if other things are in place, then you do that. Okay? Meaning the other things in place are your pelvis. So you keep your pelvis neutral on the diagonal, right? And you lengthen your legs completely. So if trying to make your heels goes down, tucks your pelvis under, gives you a backward tilt, it's not worth it. Okay? And you can do a perfectly fine downward dog with your heels in the air. All right? So that's that. And then the shoulder position is basically when you reach your arms overhead. Okay? So you don't have to mess with your shoulders a lot in downward dog. Okay? That's one of the any kind of shrugging or different things will generally foul it up more than help. And so it's just very basic. Just plant your hand, stabilize your arm, and feel the upper back as wide. Okay? You don't worry about rotation. Just plant, brace, and widen your upper back. Okay, and now the little tutorial I'm going to present will deal with the chest, but I'm going to tell you right now that basically what you have is downward dog is a samastitihi representative. Okay, so in that sense, there's no flexion of your spine, no flexion, no rounding, no arching. Okay, very single line, and a neutral pelvis, neutral spinal column, and a nice head placement. Okay, and as a side, the head placement you want, here's your gauge. Your ear in line with your upper arm. Okay, so it's basically, so you don't want your head forward and you don't want back. Okay, and when you bring your chest, you bring your whole spine towards the ground. When you do, so if this is the legs and this is your pelvis, torso, head, arms, you brace your arms so that you get very strong. They don't give easily. And your shoulders. Okay, and then you bring your whole spine down towards the ground and back towards your legs evenly. Okay, and so the problem is that people get the shoulder giving too easily and then the chest going too easily. That's one problem. Okay, so that kind of covered all the questions I could remember, but here we go with our little tutorial. Okay, so now you see that the fact that the downward dog is a samastitihi position, meaning you keep your pelvis neutral and your spinal column neutral, it's tricky, and it's part of the design of hatha yoga, right? It's like they keep presenting you with a variation that fools you into thinking that it's something else, or it makes it a little bit harder to find the samastitihi, right? So because you're upside down on a diagonal, okay? And so, but you have to learn not to be fooled by that new predicament, all right? And I'm going to take you through a few things that can help you not be fooled. And so partly it takes like a kinesthetic awareness. You have to be able to really sense your body in space. Okay? So let's do a few things. Come onto all fours on your mat. Yeah.
You want to just scoot back?
Yeah. I can.
No, you're okay. Here.
No, I can scoot.
No, I can just go like this. Whoop. Okay, there you go, David.
Just move this stuff. Move it
Okay.
back. We can move this out too, actually.
We got it. Okay.
Okay. So if you go on all fours with your, and make the shoulder, elbow, wrist vertical, and then the vertical over your hip over the knee. Okay, and then just work with the neutral pelvis, neutral spinal column, and then the head integrated with that. And then forward, then neutral, then rounding. Okay, and when you, so make that distinction. Backward tipped pelvis, tucked tail, neutral pelvis, forward tilted pelvis. Okay, and then the spine itself. So neutral spine, arched spine, neutral spine, rounded spine. Okay, so in downward dog, it's a neutral pelvis, neutral spine. And then now look at this move. So it's like reach the arm forward. I'll back up a little bit. So reach one arm forward without changing anything else. And line up your head with your upper arm bone. Okay, bring that down and look at me for a second. Okay, so here's my head up above the upper arm bone. Here it is below. Okay, and look at this line. Hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Walk. One continuous line. Okay, do the other side, left side. Just lift that arm. And keep your pelvis neutral, your spine neutral, and keep one line, hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and back down. And that's a little bit challenging, right? And so what happens in downward dog, though, is it's hard to hold that line, the hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist line. But that's what you try to do, okay? And now, what you're going to do is we'll do the downward dog on our knees. So you look at this arm. This arm has to be so strong, you guys. Really plant and brace. And then walk your knees back until you're fully lengthened. The arm, the torso, and your hip is vertical over your knee, keeping your toes tucked under. And then find your pelvic tilt. So look for neutral on the diagonal. And just like we worked on in that cat-cow, give a forward tilt pelvis. And give a backward tilt pelvis. And then find that middle place with the neutral pelvis. And then the neutral spine and your head lined up with your arms. Okay, and then keeping your arms very strong, your shoulders stable. Start to bring your head, chest, your whole spine down towards the ground, very slowly. And then come back up. So look at my spine. So I start from a little bit, I call the neutral pelvis, neutral spine, arm line. You're looking for the middle position. And so the one side of the middle is to be above it. Now have your back rounded, and do this with me, and look at the same time. So you're kind of rounded, that's above the middle. Okay, there's the middle, and now here's below the middle, where the shoulders give, and the chest is too forward, and the pelvis is tipping forward, kind of overdoing it. Okay, so you're trying to find that middle and keep to it. And at the same time, maybe your arms are getting tired. That's good. But come out for a second. All right, so this is how I explore it. Okay, and it takes a lot of arm and leg power. Okay, so, and one last thing about that, somebody was asking about the shoulders, and you see how I was telling you, you don't, look at it. So you don't need to rotate the arm, just, it's like coming over the top, just, and plant. And then maintain that and keep a wideness across your back. Okay? All right, and then you can, when you come up into the pose, the distance of between the feet and the hands is determined by the right angle. See this angle? See, this is what's kind of confusing about the pose, is that it's like Dandasana, okay, on an angle. So it's like it's an angled Dandasana. So that it can fool you, but that's really all it is. Okay, so look, if you get here, this is too narrow, right? It doesn't give you the nice right angle. And then if this, that's too long. Okay, so somewhere in the middle. And it's more often than not, I find people too short. And because partly what you're looking to do in downward dog is really brace your limbs, to lengthen. So plant your hand and stretch back through the arm and stamp back through the thighs. So you're trying to lengthen your lines, and having that little bit long stance can help you kind of whew. So you're trying to look at that action. Press the thighs and move your pelvis back in space. You're going to shift into your legs as you brace your arms. Find that neutral pelvic position, the neutral spine. And slowly release the spine. Work your head and torso a little bit closer to the ground and a little bit back towards your legs without losing your arm support. Okay, and look at that neutral pelvis. Okay, and look at this backward tilted pelvis. Okay, this you don't want. And you also don't want it overdone. Look at the leg and arm power. Stamping. And here's the heel thing. Okay, so look at the heels. The heels come to the ground by lengthening the leg. Okay, lengthening this line from your...
Shoot, sorry, David. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Okay.
This line from your sitting bone to your heel lengthens. So you're lifting the pelvis. And then, then the last thing you do, the very last thing is to sink the heels. And look at what happens. There's no change in the rest of the body. No change in the pelvis. No change in your spinal line. All right, so there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that.
Okay, do you have any other questions? Sorry, I don't know what that was. That was Instagram or what, where the video paused. I don't know which one that was. The Dandasana was a super helpful reference, David.
Excellent. Cool.
Okay.
All right, you guys, that was fun. So, hope you enjoyed it. The Asana Kitchen live.
All right. Cool.
Have a good Sunday.
Oh, the wrist pain. They do ask about.
Oh, the wrist pain. Oh, okay. Well, so for one, you can try it with blocks like that, or be on your fist. Okay, you could do it with the fist. You can do it on blocks. You can use a wedge. So like this. And it makes it a little easier on the wrist. That'll make it harder. This. Okay, and then also, you guys, one of the big keys, transfer the weight back, off of your wrists, off of your arms, into your legs. That's the project of downward dog. Shift back and weight your legs. Shift back and weight your legs. All right?
Okay.
Okay, Joe.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I have to figure out how to turn it on.